We haven't.
No.
No, we have.
All right, guys. Okay, we're back. It's the kid. 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 It's the
boy.
kid. It's the 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 kid. So, the order of business for today, the topics that we'll be talking upon, is Tottenham. That is the main topic because I think we need to really get deep into what that's all about. I want to talk about Neymar's alleged injury, which he doesn't have. It is fake news. I want to also briefly talk about something I put out on Twitter, which is about AC Milan and their fall from grace. I want to address that a little bit, and I want to also touch upon Hudson-Odoi, Bayern Munich, and watch the young player do and so forth, and how he's pretty much been viewed. But before we get into those main topics, we have to address Arsenal and Man United. So the first thing I want to say is Mourinho a brick?
Yes, currently I'd say so.
Was it?
His.
So Mohammed, why? So why is he a brick?
I mean, he was just giving out too much negative energy.
So it's not a case that it was a bad fit, maybe.
It was both, but Mourinho nowadays is nothing but after the third season, he's pretty much finished. He's done, So I think he just gives out a bad vibe to most players.
Okay. So let me ask this then. So how much credit do you give to Solskjaer for what he's done for United?
You'd have to give him credit because how many games now has he won? 8 in a row. So this
isn't the case of the players downing tools and trying to actually get homeboy sacked.
It's not about. Look how many players I think they highlighted it. Look how many players they push forward now. Look how many players they have in the box. That's why they're scoring a lot more goals than they were under Mourinho. Pogba's a lot more freer. He can go into the box. He can drive. There wasn't any of that during Mourinho's time. Pogba was restricted to being a defensive midfielder only. So you have to look at Mourinho being finished.
Okay, let me bring in hardcore Barca then. How do you view this? How much credit should be given to Solskjaer for United's resurgence?
That's a good one. Real talk. Obviously he's playing for a hype team, so no question about it. But he's done well. He's done well with this United team.
I said, how much credit do you give him? Do you give the credit to the players or do you give the credit to Solskjaer?
I give the credit to the players. Yeah, I give the credit to the players because. So
basically, that means you're admitting that the players intentionally got my boy sacked.
I think so because the way the players play is different from how Mourinho wants them to play. Mourinho wants them to be pragmatic, conservative, and sit back and soak the pressure in. Meanwhile, Solskjaer is okay. You can do a free roam. You can free roam and go and attack and express yourself and go out there and enjoy football. You see, so yeah.
Yeah, even Lukaku's looking like a decent player nowadays.
Easy, relax. DJ Kid, who do you give the credit to? Do you give it to the players or do you give it to Solskjaer?
Paul Pogba plays for a hype team. I'm just saying that. So yeah.
Okay.
I give it to Solskjaer.
Why?
Because I don't know. I just think it's his influence that's making the players play better right now.
So what kind of so you're saying it's his coaching? So what is he doing that my boy didn't do under United? Mohamed, easy. Let this DJ.
Go ahead.
I think he's letting the players be themselves.
Okay.
I think Mourinho was just giving them specific instructions. Mourinho likes to play more defensive, which is understanding. It works in games. I'll give him credit for that. But Solskjaer he's really letting the players be themselves.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. Ford. Let's just keep it brief. So Ford, who do you give it the credit to, the players or to Solskjaer?
I think a lot of credit has to go to the manager. There's actually a theory out there that this is actually all the work of Sir Alex. Obviously, the fact that Mourinho didn't know.
What?
So let me just give the story behind that.
Wait. First of all,
yeah.
Where did you get this story from? Who is your source?
So it is from Rants and Bants, and he was talking with Alex Goldbridge on
Don't be rude.
but
that's not
no,
a credible source. I'm just saying.
Look,
I mean, it's more of a theory than like it's actual proof. Like,
Oh,
the theory is
okay,
just
fair
that he
enough,
got
fair
them
enough.
behind the whole. He's got obviously Mike Phelan, Michael Carrick. He's got more of like the night, the whole class of '92. It's kind of more that vibe, which again United didn't go for in the past. They went for Moyes. They didn't really try to back him, but that didn't work out. They went for experienced managers in Van Gaal and Mourinho, who were great CV managers, but they didn't have the right ethos of the club and the football that they wanted to play. Now we're seeing United. There's not really much that's really that unique about what they're doing. It's very simple. They're just trying to play how they used to play, a bit more proactive, a bit more forceful, a bit more of just counter-attacking football, and it's working with the players that they have. Again, but even though I like Mourinho, or at least the old Mourinho, he wasn't a great fit with these kind of players because, again, they're not like a Lucio, they're not like a Cambiasso where you can make these guys be pragmatic. I mean, you're seeing just sitting out me walking at the Emirates, and you see Pogba being his very flamboyant self. These guys need to play this kind of football. They didn't suit the other kind of football that Mourinho wanted them to do. So, again, you have to give credit to Solskjaer, and also the players obviously have a lot of quality, and that's what they've been able to show now in this new system.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Harpo. I just think because I just want to tell forward this. Are you saying that the reason why you're saying that Manchester United playing well is nothing special? Is it because United beat Chelsea in the UCL finals and Ronaldo scored it? Is that why?
Okay.
Yeah,
Moving on. We're moving on because I don't want to get us into some kind of weird combo.
Yeah.
Hazem, keep it brief. The players or Solskjaer? Who is
Solskjaer? Brief. That's brief. That's it.
So based on his tactics and his
based on his tactics, he's giving the players freedom to roam, more freedom to use their abilities, and he's not going as defensive, and really putting pressure on other teams, making themselves dangerous, and maximizing the potential of players like Pogba and making him the center of the team.
All right, cool. Kadim, players or Solskjaer?
Solskjaer.
Wow.
Simply put, he just released all the stress of the players, and there's a good atmosphere. They feel more free to play their game, have more confidence, and that's what brings them now results, because they had good quality all the time, but atmosphere was not good before, apparently.
All right. Okay. L.
For me, I'll have to go Solskjaer. I mean, he's done a fantastic job, in my opinion. And it's almost like he's just brought like calmness, like on the players and the club. I still rate Mourinho highly. I still think he's a world-class manager. I just think it was a bad fit for.
So do I. Carry on.
Yeah, of course. I'm a Chelsea fan. I love him. So, I just think it was a bad fit for me. Nothing big, nothing personal, but I think Solskjaer has just done a perfect job at Man United. That's it.
All right. Muntaha.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say one thing. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
No. When you say this guy Solskjaer, like he's proven like against Spurs and Arsenal. Do you consider Arsenal as a test first of all? And that's you consider
no. But Muntaha, you have to say where these guys came from. These guys were a bunch of losers.
Compare the four.
No. Hate it. You have to understand.
8 wins in a row is something else, man. Come on.
Listen. Like it's not just only Solskjaer, it's the players, because they know that they have sacked this manager, world-class manager, okay, and like they were not enjoying football under his system, and now the pressure was on the player and Pogba. Look, the way Pogba was playing, Pogba was giving.
Who made them enjoy the
Facts.
Look. When you say enjoying football, okay, fine, or like made them good, but Solskjaer is like tactically he has done nothing. Like in a sense, like management wise, he was good.
So if he's done nothing, then they will still be playing defensive.
I disagree, man. Exactly.
What do you mean by defensive? Look.
You said he did nothing, so that means they'll still be playing defensive.
Especially,
wait, Muntaha, say your point, man. Say your point.
Look, my point is like the pressure was on players, and player knew that like they have sacked Mourinho, so that's why they are like performing now. Before that, like, because it's crystal clear that like these players were really that good, man, and they actually sacked Jose Mourinho. You cannot deny that.
So you're saying they sabotaged my boy? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, of course, you have to say that.
Those sick pricks. All right, Red.
Hold on, Double H. I got a question.
What?
If those players start doing bad, do we say we still need to give the manager time because his philosophy hasn't been been implemented on the team? Because they started doing good in the beginning.
Wait. First of all, DJ Kid, there's some stuff happening in your background. I'm hearing some tapping or something. Like, are you on the moon or something? I need to clear the background.
No. Okay. I'll come back. Give me a second.
Okay, good. Just tell your babes and your ladies just to get out of the room. All right, Red. Players.
Nah, I'll step out. I'll come back. I'll step out.
Cool. Okay, Red. Okay. The players or Solskjaer, who is?
Yeah, I'm giving credit to Solskjaer here. No, sorry, the players. I'm not giving credit to Solskjaer.
Oh, wow.
So before you explain, that means you're admitting that they sacked my boy. The players sacked me.
I don't want to say that they got him sacked. I think they just didn't want to comply with the way Mourinho plays. Mourinho likes to, like, if you saw in his recent interview when he was like breaking down the situation, he said that he likes to play without the ball. He likes to control the game without having the ball and seizing opportunities. And I think that players that United have just don't mesh well with that kind of style, because a player like Pogba is not good. His best attributes are on the ball, not off the ball. So that's probably where that whole disagreement came from. So in my opinion, I think it's just like the style of play that Solskjaer implemented definitely helped the Man United players, but I do feel like they have been, in a way, like they weren't giving their 100% under Mourinho. So you can give Solskjaer credit. You won't be wrong if you do. But I do feel like the players deserve the majority of this, because like you can't tell me that Mourinho told Rashford not to do what he's doing right now. Like, why would Mourinho tell Rashford not to play like that on the ball? Why would Mourinho?
I'm just saying. In terms of midfield, I think Mourinho said he said about Matic and Pogba playing it simple. Look at Matic; he's playing all through the lines. Pogba is just free to do whatever he wants.
But also, Mo, you know this more than anybody here, that Arsenal also were playing with not their best defense. Like United did get lucky as well in that aspect too, because Socrates came off injured, Mustafi came back and Mustafi hadn't been playing for a while, and Mustafi also is not a great defender to begin with.
You know, the funny thing is, I actually tweeted out when he came on. I said Mustafi's coming on. I'll doubt we'll win this game. I literally.
Yeah, like it's true. As soon as he came on, I knew it would happen. But look, because we need to move on to the topics. But just before we go to our main topic, Ozil.
Oh my word! Oh my word!
So is it over for Ozil?
The latest news is that he might be in exchange deal with Perisic. That's the latest news. Inter.
Wow.
There might be an exchange deal.
Okay, so he goes to
Inter Milan also. To Inter Milan also. We'll swap with Perisic.
Yeah. Okay. So no, because my thing with Ozil is that so do any of you still think that Ozil has or should have a future at Arsenal?
Well, as long as Emery's there, he won't have a future. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So why not? Because he's not an Emery type player.
He's not Emery. He's not close to what Emery wants him. You know, he's number 10 to be. Because look at Ramsey was doing. He was marking Juninho in that game, and Ozil can't do that. He can't do a job like that. And be.
I think they need Ozil.
Oh, it would be Ozil would be perfect.
Why do you think they need Ozil?
No, because like for the last few games, they really lack creativity, in my opinion. And I mean, it's a very big
thing. When was the last time that Ozil showed up in a big game?
Leicester.
Yeah,
Leicester City.
Look, man.
Hey, they're Prem champions. They were champions a couple of years ago.
I mean, not anymore. I mean, they're not. It's not a big game. Leicester, you know what I mean? It's a good game, but it's not a big game. You know.
Okay. Look. Let's
probably the last time he probably maybe.
Wait. Let's get to our first topic now. So, Tottenham are ending the season trophyless. That's a fact. We need to state it with that. And I don't want to hear anything from Pochettino. I don't want to hear his press conference. I don't want to hear his interview because there is nothing that needs to be said. Because there is a 0% chance they'll win the Premier League, and there is a -2% chance they'll win the Champions League.
Wait. There's a recent quote. There's an interview today that he said the success isn't measured on trophies. It's measured on, apparently, if you get top 4. That's his success, apparently.
Then he's a psychopath. Then he's a psychopath. So here is my thing right now. Should we really insult and pimp slap Tottenham, or are we just setting the benchmark too high for Tottenham? what we expect from them is far too high, or should we actually bitch slap them based on how they've underachieved? Let me start with Hardcore Barca.
Yes, I love this, HH. I love this.
That's the question, bro.
HH, here, I kept telling you this. Liverpool are the biggest bottle jobs I've ever seen.
Talk about
Who brought Liverpool, man?
I'm getting to my point. Have hope. I'm getting to my point.
Okay.
Tottenham is also the biggest bottle jobs in the EPL.
Why couldn't you just say that?
It's hype. Tottenham Liverpool is hype because they're not going to win anything. Pochettino is going to go trophyless. He's going to move to Real Madrid at the end of the summer. Klopp, after he loses.
Okay, so you are saying that for sure he goes to Real Madrid this summer.
Because the Premier League is hype.
Nah, I doubt. I doubt. Wait. Let
this boy land.
Yes. My thing is, what I keep telling you is, and I said it too, if Tottenham play Leganes in the finals, they lose to Leganes in the finals.
What?
This is fact.
Leganes?
Yes.
Are you mad?
Look. Let me tell you something.
No, Barca. We're moving. No, see, that's going way too far. That's going way too far. Forward. Tottenham. I swear. First of all, forward. I saw your tweets. Your tweets are getting more and more disrespectful by the day. And first of all, your tweets look like paragraphs from I would say from school, and I hated school, by the way. So do not remind me of my bad tweets in school because I still have PTSD about leaving school. Okay, so do not remind me about school, and please make your tweets less and not remind me of flipping academic and school because I was not a very good academic. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a football hot. So forward. Now, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Should they be insulted, inducted, or are we setting the benchmark to and try and not be bashed, try and be as objective as a shrew?
You know, that's a good question because the benchmark is where it needs to be. I think for fans like ourselves, we don't rate Tottenham too highly. We don't expect them to win trophies, and that's the case. But when you consider how the media have been hyping them up, saying that they're such an amazing team, they're the best team in London. All this nonsense when they haven't won any trophies, they haven't proven themselves. They've bottled multiple title races now. Again, I feel like they're getting too much hype and too much praise for what they've actually produced. And again, although people rate Pochettino, he isn't a great manager. Even though I think he's done a great job, I think you can get those things confused. He's not a great manager because he's
same with Klopp.
No, Klopp is a great manager.
Hold on, wait. Let me take you to task on that very briefly. Are you saying that with the same exact squad and players and with one of the biggest losers of a chairman, Pep, Klopp, Allegri, would do a better job with this squad and win trophies with this same squad?
No, I don't think so.
Wait, yo, it's my phone, yo, chill. No, I don't think they would. And again, that's why I'm saying he's done a great job in terms of where he's taken Tottenham to, but he's not a great manager. Now, he has time to prove that. Again, he's very young in his managerial career, so maybe he can win things with Real Madrid or wherever he goes, or even United. But again, for Tottenham, I was just looking just at Tottenham. Again, they've punched above the weight for the last few years now, but they're going to ultimately go back to where they always were, and that's being a mid-table team.
Forward, by your logic, Sarri's not a good manager.
Again, by the way, I said he's done a great job, but he's not a great manager yet. Of course, you have to win trophies to go and do that. And again, maybe he will do that in the future.
No, but
for right now, he isn't. Sarri isn't a great manager either. But again, maybe he will win. But given time, maybe he'll win trophies.
No, but listen,
in a top final with Chelsea in his first year.
My point is that I feel that he has overachieved at Tottenham because he's overachieved. Because I don't think that any of these guys, this squad is good enough to win a trophy. I don't give a damn about Golden Boy Harry Kane. I couldn't give two flips about that flipping dude. Score in a flipping final or get the hell out of my face. Damn good striker. But if you want to, and this is my thing to Harry Kane and all of your apologists and all of my English brothers out there and my Brexit brethren. Harry Kane, if you want to be taken seriously, leave Tottenham and go to a big team and perform on the big stage. Don't keep hiding behind scoring many goals for a team that's not going to win a trophy. Because I will not, you know what? I'm going to remove, wait, easy, let me land. I'm going to remove my world-class title from you until you grow some balls and get the heck out of a team that ain't going to win a trophy because of your loser of a chairman and go to a team where you will be put in a final and in a position where let's see if you can deliver and win a trophy. Thank you.
Come to Milan.
I like that. Thank you.
And also, we should have spread it to Sterling in the World Cup as well.
Hafo, Can I say
No,
something?
Barca, chill, man. We're going down the line, man. What the hell? All right, Hazem, Tottenham, should they be insulted or are we being too harsh?
I mean, I don't really think they should be insulted because this is just their level the whole time. They haven't really won anything. I mean,
But
they
wait.
don't have any
As
history.
Ford has said, haven't the media overhyped them?
Yeah, they have. They have. I mean, they've been consistently in the top four teams in the EPL, but I think they're being overhyped, and the media keeps on putting them as challengers for the title whenever they just have a good run. And I think the media should just relax and realize that that run's not gonna last, as we've seen for so many seasons. And I don't think they really have any future in winning a trophy unless someone starts spending crazy amounts of money like city owners and maybe they'll be able to win the FA Cup then.
Cool. All right. Kadim, are we being too harsh or do we need to tell Tottenham to get the hell out of here?
I mean, in my opinion, you were simply hyping up Tottenham to begin with. I mean, it was always clear that they won't win anything. So I don't know what we are talking about.
Whoever is laughing, don't laugh. This is serious.
Facts, Kadim. Facts, Kadim.
Barca, the next time you interject, I'm going to kick your ass out of this bloody hangout. So please chill. L.
I'm sorry.
Look, for me, I'll just keep it brief because I hate Tottenham. So
wait. Okay. Please be objective. Now, I get that clubs and teams in this place, but
I'll try.
This isn't a tribalistic hand.
Of course.
L, talk.
Look, they've done well for what they have and what they're working with, in my opinion. So I think you have to give credit to them for that. Are we being a bit too harsh? A bit, I'd say so. But look, Tottenham for me are a small club, and look, I don't think they'll win a trophy like within the next 5 years. That's me being realistic. Until they spend money, that's it.
Wow. All right, harsh. Mohammed.
I mean, we're talking about a team. I think the last time they won a league title was 58 years ago.
Whoa, Mohammed, easy. Easy. Relax. Okay, just easy. Relax.
I think they've won 5 trophies in their whole entire 132 years. So I don't even know. But yeah, they're a nothing club. Let's just move on.
Okay, that's harsh. Muntaha.
They're media lovers. That's all they are.
Muntaha.
Yeah. Look, HH, I think so. I'm not being harsh, but to be honest, like this club is like they have achieved, and this is a kind of achievement they can achieve. That's it. Because you need to buy players. That's it. Like you don't have that much budget to buy the big players, big names. So I think so. Poch has done a lot for this team. That's it.
Okay. And also, I want to make a very brief statement after this, but Red. Bring us home.
Let's see. For me personally, like Tottenham, I don't think they're overhyped because they've earned everything they like all the praise they get because 17 wins they have this season. They don't draw. They've lost 6 times, but they have 17 wins. They're also going through a crisis right now. Levy is a brick. You are right, AT, on that. Like, why would you sell Dembele mid-season when you're not bringing in any players? Like, why would you do that? But with that being said, like Tottenham, they've overachieved. I think they're improving. They're leveling up every season. So they're not winning any trophies now. It's kind of disappointing that this season they didn't do anything. But I think next season maybe they'll still have a chance if they can hold on to some of their players. I don't think they'll hold on to all of them, but they'll hold on to a good core members that they'll be able to move forward with them. So yeah.
Okay, let me make a statement before we go to one of my favorite topics for tonight. It's not really a statement, it's maybe a question. Can you be world class without any trophies?
I love that question.
Well, coach or what?
As a manager or as a player?
Player.
I love both. No.
No,
you can't
be
perform
world
at the top level.
You can perform at world class level.
Okay, wait, chill. Who says yes?
I do.
No.
Yes,
No.
Okay, Hazem, why can you be world class without any trophy?
Because football is a team sport, so at the end of the day, obviously you have to make the difference for your team, and to be a world-class player, you have to make that step to the next level to perform at the top level in the Champions League, for example. But sometimes you can't do anything. For example, Salah, he had a world-class season, and despite not winning any trophies, because
he won individual trophies.
But he started talking about team trophies. But he did everything he could. But in the end, the reason for not winning the Champions League was not his fault. It was the team's
pick
fault.
up carriers.
So he was performing in the big games, but basically, if you perform in the big games, but circumstances happen that are out of your hands, then you're still a world-class player.
Hazem, I appreciate your arguments, but I feel that's too nice. In 2019, we need to be a lot harsher. Because
I agree.
So Salah's not a world class.
Easy. Let me land. Because guys, I'm bringing back the hashtag. I'm bringing back the hashtag next month. No excuses is making its return.
Thank you.
No excuses is making its return. So when I say no excuses, I can't look at you and say you're world class if I don't see a flipping trophy.
Okay, so Salah is not world class.
Let me land.
I mean, Salah only
if
had
you're telling me you're world class, and you come and see me in my office, and I ask you, show me your trophy, show me your medal.
Hallelujah.
Show me your medal, I need a trophy. I tell you, get the heck out of my office and close the door behind me.
So you're telling me Salah's not world class?
No, easy. Let me rant. Let me talk, baby. Let me talk. Because this is your boy. Let your boy talk. Because I've had enough. Because there've been some phonies.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm coming all out. It's
How many times?
There've been some phonies coming around. There've been some phonies coming around, acting like they're world class, and I've had to accept it.
Thank you.
But that was in 2018. I said, wait a minute. Why do I have to accept a world class when you've not been able to deliver
the English media is fooling
and contribute to winning a trophy? How can you be mentioned amongst the elites without a trophy to your name? That's insane.
But what if your team? What if your team is the reason for not winning that
then
trophy?
Hazard, do you know my response to that? If you're that good, you go to the best because the best play for the best.
Yeah, okay, but doesn't mean you're not world class.
No, but for me personally, I just want to say,
wait, let's go on.
Let me jump in also.
Yeah. So. Look, I think you can be world class without a team trophy, but if you're getting individual trophies, let's say for example, if you're playing for a lowly side and you're getting like the golden boot every season, you could be a world class striker. And if you're doing decent stuff on the international level,
African player of the year.
Pardon?
Oh,
no. Like that, you could be world class. Doesn't mean that makes you world class. So for me personally, world class is an upper level. Like it's like top 10, top 15 players in the world.
Yeah.
And not just on current form, consistency as well. Because you can't call every player that has a good season a world-class player.
That's what I'm saying about Salah. You can't call him world-class.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Salah's world-class. Belotti, for example.
No.
Pause. Because Red, you're about to open up a can of worms.
Wow.
You guys, easy. Because wait, easy. Let me land. Because there are a horde of Liverpool fans who are ready to rip this comments thread to pieces. I don't want to put myself
and rightfully so.
Red, I am isolating you because I want all the video to be directed to you. Guys, I will be posting Red's Twitter handle in the description. So Liverpool fans, Red's way easy. Let me land, guys. Let me land. Red's Twitter username will be in the description. Direct all mentions towards him. Red, you have the floor.
Yes. So I'm gonna say this before anything. Nobody here loves Salah more than I do. Like he's one of my own. So I love Salah. I think he has the potential to be world class, but I don't like to overhype players. I like to let the players just play. So how can I just come and call Salah world class based off of him coming fourth last season? Like it's unfortunate what happened to him in the Champions League, but he came fourth. Like you can't. Yes, you scored all those goals, but they came late on, and you were just padding at one point though. So this season, if Salah wins the Premier League this season, if Salah wins the Premier League this season, you cannot deny. You cannot deny. And there's the Africa Cup of Nations coming up. He has opportunities to become
on home soil.
He doesn't have to win the Premier League.
Yeah, home
yes,
soil.
He does. Yes, he does.
No. On home soil, anything less than a victory, nah.
Can I go on home soil?
Oh, you mean African Cup of Nations?
Yeah.
Egypt have a good chance.
Wait. Let's get because this is a very compelling thing, and I want everyone's view from it. So the question is, can you be world class without any major trophies? Not individual awards, without any major trophies. Let's start with Barca.
Okay. For me, I don't think Salah can be world class without any major trophies. He needs to prove to me in the World Cup. He needs to prove to me in the UCL. He needs to prove to me by winning the EPL.
He proved to you in
These are
UCL.
the three
He's
main.
talking
No, he
about the
didn't.
final.
He lost in the finals to Real Madrid. And for me, he's
Injured.
overhyped. He's overhyped.
Oh my
And how I see
god.
it is, he needs
I
to
mean,
show
Oh
overhyped
me
my
by
god.
winning these
bit
three
too much.
cups. He needs to show me by winning these three cups. You can't
Man,
just
this is
win
rough.
African player. You can't just win African Player of the Year award. You can't just win Golden Boot and think you're world class. Because for me, that doesn't say anything to me. That's just trash. Thank you.
Okay. Forward.
Yeah, look, I actually like this discussion. I feel like generally fans of this modern era are too quick to kind of call players world class and put them on a pedestal when they haven't done enough to earn that prestige.
Preach.
However, despite saying that,
I love it. I love it.
this argument is flawed when you're saying certain players aren't world class. I think you have to do a certain amount to be called world class, and I feel like players like Harry Kane and Salah have been doing that. Whether it's in a short patch or not, I feel Salah did perform at a world class ceiling last season as well as this season. And again, to your point of you need to win trophies to do it. I mean, we saw Ronaldo go not have the best record at national stage, but then when he got to the final, he didn't play in that final, but yet they still won the Euros. So then he kind of got the credit of, oh, he won his country the Euros, but he didn't perform in the final. Same with Salah, who had an amazing UCL run, got to the final, didn't play in it, but then his team lost it. So if this team won it without him, would he be world class? Doesn't make any sense. And also, to end on one point, so if all these players aren't world class because they're not winning trophies, even though they're winning individual honors, that means Koulibaly's not world class by the same argument. So HS, you have to redo that video when you're comparing him and Van Dijk. That means those two aren't world class. So
Fact.
again, I feel like you can be world class if you're performing at a high world class level and then individual.
Facts, forward, facts.
Is that? You know, that's like my guy, you know. So, like, when is my guy, you know, look, that's just my guy.
Okay, so you're just biased.
Look, it's different. Look, we have a little, come on, look, man, chill.
Hey, fair enough. If that's your guy, then that's your guy. But I mean, you gotta keep it consistent.
Forward, easy, but forward, come on, stop exposing your body. Relax. all right. That's a very talk. All right, can you be world class without any jewelry?
Me?
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, of course. As I said, you can be world class without any trophies, and especially if you play a part in getting your team through in the big games, especially in the Champions League. That should be the benchmark, as well as the big games in the league. You have to perform in those games, and if you do that for at least one season or a season and a half, then you can be called world class.
So basically, you're a very, very nice guy. And Hazem, I wish I was as sweet and as nice as you. Unfortunately, I'm not because it's 29. Kadim, hit me. Hazem, easy. You've talked. Kadim, same question. Can you be world class without any trophies?
You can have a world-class season or world-class performance without having a trophy. But ultimately, if you look back on your career and you never earned a trophy, then, in my opinion, you cannot be considered a world-class
That's
player.
a big move. You know, wait, Kadim, I've got to pause you there. You see, this is why we need Kadim on this whole thing, because he just dropped a gem. And I think that gem is almost like a Godfather thing where he's taking everything and it's a nice balance. You can have a world-class season. You can have a world-class performance. But if at the end of your career, you've won no major trophies, do we sit back and say, yeah, man, that was a world-class player?
Thank you.
Oh.
You know, so I think Kadim, that's a gem. I think he dropped a gem there. So yeah, I think that's a gem. All right, L, same question. All right, he's not there. Mohammed.
Yeah, I mean, Michu had a world-class season at one point. Salah, I mean, he had a good season last year. He struggled a bit at the start of this one. I mean, you need a level of consistency over 2-3 years, really, and you need a trophies, of course, you know, to protect your legacy, pretty much, as Kadim pretty much stated. So, but you can be world class, but it just takes a level of consistency, you know, being a top 5 player, I think.
All right, Muntaha.
First of all, HH, what is the definition for first, like world class? I just want to know that first. What do you
Top
mean
5
by
in your
world
position.
class?
No. Okay, wait, see, pertaining to this argument, I'll say world class is when you're considered the best, the elite in your position. For this argument's sake.
Okay, of particular generation, right? Like supposedly in this generation, like
Okay.
world class.
Either generational or basically you're the elite of the elites, either in your position for the particular generation. Yeah.
No, then Salah is not a world class. Sorry.
Jesus.
Obviously, like if you mean that world class means legendary status, so sorry, I can't give Salah to that setup. But if he wins and keep on wins like Premier League, yeah, and show some like okay, last season was good. Even in Roma, he played really good football. He scored 22 goals, I guess, in Roma, like in his last Roma season, and like he came up with a massive transformation in Premier League, and was very good player. But on basis of 2-3 season and didn't want any trophies, it's really a big statement to give him like the best player of this generation or one of the best player of this generation. So yeah, I don't think so. Salah is world class.
Okay, Red, same question.
No, you can't. You just can't. You have to win a trophy to be considered world class, and not even just any trophy. It has to be a recognized trophy, a league, a Champions League, an international trophy. You have to do it, and if you do it while continuing on it, like being consistent throughout it, not just like eventually being a bench warmer and just collecting trophies when you're not even playing. You have to be like that to be considered a world class player, or else everybody's a world class player. There has to world class means you're the elite. That's it.
Let's move on.
Thank you.
Benzema has more.
Beautiful.
Benzema has more trophies than Salah does in his whole career.
See, I know exactly.
Please don't come up with that.
This guy don't say this. Guys, this is now one of my favorite topics for this night right now. Actually, you know what? Daniel, is your mic working?
Yeah.
Now, it's good that you're right.
Liverpool fan, though.
It's good that you're right. Now, Daniel, let me ask you this question right now. Can a player be world class without winning any major trophies? It's a simple yes or no question.
Yeah.
If it's no. It didn't sound convincing.
It's yes or no. It's not yeah. Okay, no. It's either yes or no. Can a player be world class without winning any major trophies? Yes or no?
Yes.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Wait. Can you expand? Can you?
Okay, no. Expand. Why? So without any major trophies, you can still be considered a world-class elite player without.
Yeah, because like if what you're doing, like say like you're a striker and you're banging in goals left, right, and center all the time, like your goal ratio is very good. Like you can be world class
without winning any trophies.
No.
So was Michu world class at one point?
Huh?
Was Michu that guy?
No, he was a one season wonder.
I mean,
that's a definition of a one season wonder, Michu.
All right, okay, look, fair enough. Okay, now look, this is now my favorite topic for tonight. This is the big topic. Okay, this is the big topic for tonight.
Napoli.
Neymar.
Hazem. No.
God. Is it Milan?
That's okay. Hazem. Okay.
That was the biggest game this weekend.
Easy. I love Syria. I love everything, but there is a bigger story here that is bigger than that. Okay, and I think the world will agree. Let me say this right now, guys. We are T minus how many few days till the big one, guys. I can tell you, I can't sleep.
Oh God.
I literally cannot.
Me too.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Nobody, and I mean nobody on this planet wants this Champions League to watch the Champions League more than me. I am so hyped. I am so hyped because the beauty about it, because I told you, because I was only going to use no excuses for the World Cup. I said, you know what? There's so many big games, so many careers are on the line.
Yeah.
Because Valverde's job is on the line.
Yeah, really, it's true.
Real Madrid's credit is on the line. Yes.
Oh my God.
Don't be joking. Credit is on the line. So
we'll talk about Champions League next week.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Champions League next week.
No. Because I'm talking about this guy because this is happening right now. Neymar.
Oh. What's the case right now? Is he out?
Okay, he's injured. End of story. That's it.
I heard he's out.
He's out for the first match. First leg, he's out.
PSG will still thrash United.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Neymar has apparently been injured. And the word that I'm receiving is that he's now going to be out from the first leg.
Yeah. Apparently he can't even walk. So
no, but Mohammed, that's a pot of crap.
It doesn't mean anything to you, but
no, Mohammed, it doesn't. So let me just put this now to the people right now. If Neymar let's say he misses the first leg and only appears in the second leg, and PSG gets knocked out by Man United, would you people still accept that, hey man, because he was injured, you're still going to cop him a plea and not really be too harsh for him if he gets knocked out?
You'd have to blame the team, man. It's a team sport.
Yeah, 100%. It's not his fault. He's injured. What can you do?
No. But why did he move?
Blame him as well. It's a team sport.
Yeah, but look, man, he has nothing to do with this. This like God made him injured. That's it.
Yeah.
No, he could have not went all out on the field. He could have just chilled, laid back. Like you see a ton of players do that all the time.
I think
he parties too much.
Chill in the game. Come on, you have to be.
Bro, they have a 13-point lead with 2 games in hand. He doesn't have to be playing every single game.
He parties too much. He parties too much.
No. Like, I'm not blaming Neymar.
I mean,
I'm not blaming Neymar solely. Like, of course, if they lose, it's the PSG. It's PSG's
paid loads of money.
Like, look. First of all, Neymar has to like literally move on from these kind of excuses, man. Look, he needs to take care and you make big decision on himself. Yeah, he just cannot wait for the like come on, man. Like you know that the big games are coming soon, especially Champions League, and
you're being too harsh, man. He's being paid.
But the coach decided to
no. But he has been bought for Champions League.
It's part of the game.
The coach not being too harsh because the thing about it is, for Neymar, as I think Red even mentions that you know that you were not brought here to win the flipping league or the Coupe de France or anything.
So what do you want me to do? You want me to take vacations?
Wait, and you also know that you're a target based on how you play and the way in which you play and the kind of arrogant way in which you play. Guys are out to break your freaking legs. So either you toughen up or you protect yourself because you will be a target. So those are the choices you have. Either you toughen up, get stronger, get a lot more fitter and tougher. Therefore, you'll have less injuries because you're a lot tougher because you look like a flipping twig. Either you do that or you have to avoid this type of being clever about avoiding this tackles.
Can I say this? How many times have we talked about players bulking up and losing their speed and dribbling ability? I mean, we've talked about this how many times? And you want Neymar?
Oh no. Yeah. There's a difference between
that's true though.
There's a difference between being tougher. Like, there's one thing just getting huge muscle and just becoming bigger. There's another thing just being tougher. Because there are specific exercises that will make you be tougher. Because the thing I hate about this is that people are going to make another excuse for this dude. So
but this happened last season. It happened last season.
He's injured.
It happened last season, so it's nothing new. It's just something that happened last season and happened this season.
Look, if he bulks up, he's not going to have the same dribbling abilities, the same versatility if he bulks up.
Are you telling me PSG can't beat that PSG team without Neymar? Can't beat Man United? This Man United?
No, they can. They're going to still win. PSG are still winning.
It's on the team if they don't go through.
No. But guys, I'm telling you this right now, man. If you want a clever bet, right now, because I don't know what the odds are right now. Put a bet on United winning. Right, like tonight.
Stop it! Oh my god!
Oh god!
No, that's too much.
Oh, because of a few good games.
No, because I know, but that's the whole point of placing a bet. Because people will be like, "Oh my gosh, it's PSG, it's United," but I'm just saying a smart bet right now. Because who knows who else is going to drop or is going to be? Because again, Verratti, I think he's out as well. It's not.
I beg you, can we talk about Milan versus Napoli, please? I just beg you, man.
Bro,
Let me last the real deal. Because before going on, besides, if PSG lose to Man United in the round of 16, Neymar and that entire team, I'm not going to hold back. Zero excuses for those dudes. That's where I'm landing on that. So. You know what, let me just, you know what, I'm going to keep it very brief on Milan and Napoli, and even the Serie A right now. And Hazem, I love that you keep bringing this up right now, because I think, Hazem, I think you need to start being objective right now and start being realistic. That AC Milan team are a disgrace. They're a disgrace. So it's like you can become, because
that's too much.
This is because I use the example.
I know you're gonna say the fall of grace. You always say this is the same thing.
Wait. I'll give you the floor, but let me land. I use because this is an example of me being Nigerian, the Nigerian national team.
Oh God.
I insult the hell out of those guys. I call guys losers. I call guys. I've inducted like half the entire team because I knew what those guys were in the late 90s. I wore those guys.
I did it with Ghana too. I did it with Ghana.
So my thing about this is that you can't look at a dude like Cotrone, Suso, and Bonaventura and tell me those guys can even look Pirlo, flipping Maldini, and Shevchenko in the face. It is the worst fall from grace in recent memory. Because as much as United have fallen, Pogba is still one of the top. Pogba is world class. You know, Martial, people like this have guys. Milan do not have a single world class player in their entire team, and that's a fact. So, Hazem, are you going to deny that Milan do not have a single world class player in the team?
I would say Donnarumma is world class.
No, he's not.
Oh
No, it's not.
I would also say Romagnoli is world class.
No, hell
No.
Man, Romagnoli is one of the best defenders in the league.
Nah.
He's better than every single defender in the EPL except Van Dijk.
Oh my God, he's better than Emre Laporte. You mean?
He's better than
Wait, Hazem, wait. So, Hazem,
big games.
So Hazem, you're telling me that Romagnoli is better than Eric Bailly. You're telling me that he's better than Aspilicueta.
Yeah,
He's better than Alderweireld.
Aspilicueta.
Laporte.
No, slow
But
down,
he hasn't
Hazem.
been
Hazem, slow
best.
down.
No, it's not. Have you watched Romagnoli?
Wait, Hazem, the very fact that nobody in the world even mentions Romagnoli amongst
shows
the
you-
top 6 team in the world.
No. I think you're minimizing your view of the world to the EPL fans. Yeah, all around in La Liga, Syria, Bundesliga, Europe, we talk about this guy. We know who this guy is. This guy's one of the best defenders in the league. Maybe you guys, you live in your close Premier League world where
He's been doing it for 6 months at a really good
The
level.
only people that's mentioned Romagnoli
Yeah, you guys are.
are AC Milan people. Nobody in the world
No.
puts Romagnoli in the same category
Even
as
Juventus
Van
fans
Dijk.
know. Even Juventus
Koulibaly.
fans know that he's one of the best defenders.
Okay, so Hazem, so you're saying that Romagnoli is in the same bracket as Van Dijk?
No, I said except Van Dijk.
You just said he's world class though.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's at the level of Rafael Varane. You mean that?
No, he's not as good as Varane, but I'd say he's
he's not
in
world
that level. Yeah, he's in that level.
Oh, wait, so Hazem, so he's on the same level as Varane.
Yeah,
Oh God.
100%.
You know, let's just move on.
He's not as good as Varane. He's almost as good as Koulibaly. That's what I'll say.
And wait, so he's as good as Ramos.
Ramos this season isn't that good, so I don't know what you're
So
talking.
no, just tell me. So tell me that this season he's better than Ramos this season.
Oh, definitely this season, of course.
Oh my God.
Of course, this season, Milan. Man.
You watched,
When he's
bro,
done
have you watched
This guy has
I just
single-handedly
watched watching because look. I just watched Real Madrid against Espanyol tonight, and I watched Milan against Thingy. And what Ramos is doing.
And tell me, what did Romagnoli do against Napoli? How did he suppress every single cross, every single header he headed away? This guy dominates.
And Napoli are a world class team, are they?
Yeah, of course.
Oh God!
How are Napoli?
What? Napoli are one of the top teams, man.
Where are their trophies?
You see, Hazem. You see,
this is going back to the same
Hazem. The issue you're having here, and now this is what I've been trying to tell and explain to you. You're a tribalistic fan.
No.
And wait, let me land, and then I'll give you a response. And because you're a tribalistic fan, you can't openly, objectively criticize your team. Not once have I heard you say, "Man, this AC Milan guy is complete crap. This guy is garbage. This guy isn't very
my
good."
Twitter feed.
You're always
I said Kessie is shit. Kessie is ass. Kessie is ass.
but the issue is that you can't be talking in an objective sense and mention Romagnoli amongst world-class defenders. That's crazy.
Let me say my point. So I know it's a huge fall of grace if you're comparing it to this the team that we had in the early 2000s, early 90s, obviously. But that fall of grace didn't happen now. That fall of grace started in 2008 and was majorly happened when we lost Ibrahimovic and those players, and many players retired in 2010 and all that. Now, since then, it's been a 5-year period of absolute crap until around 2015-16, and now it's back on the rise. We're getting talents, we're getting young talents that have potential to be world class, and that's why we have a plan. We have a solid plan in place to get back to the top, to the elite. Now we're getting players that we know that are going to develop into possibly world class players, and obviously we're not going to be able to attract the world-class players right now, but obviously we did with Higuain, Bonucci, but they
No,
left.
Higuain's not world class.
No, but he was world-class if you talk about his career. But
Overall, yeah, he's overall he's.
when we bought him, he was world-class at Juventus. So yeah, so obviously we have a solid plan in place, and you can't just keep on repeating the same thing that we don't have the world-class players, and you have to look at like we're going in the right direction. So would you agree that we're going in the right direction or no?
Okay. So let me bring it through. Hardcore Barca, do AC Milan have any world-class players, potential world-class players?
I'm not trying to disrespect Ford and HH, but real talk, man. AC Milan has more UCLs than Chelsea.
Oh my
God! You know, you didn't actually answer my question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Barca, but again, I will try again and just please try and answer my question. Do AC Milan have any world-class or potential world-class players? Yes or no?
At the moment, I'll say Paqueta.
Yeah, potential. You said potential.
He's world class.
HH said world class or potential.
Wait.
He didn't say potential. Yeah.
He said potential world class.
So you're saying Paqueta is a potential world class player?
Oh, we have so many potential world class.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Okay, well, guys, easy. Okay, cool.
He's better than Hazard. I know that for a fact.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Stop
All right.
right there.
No.
So,
Come on, man.
So, Daniel, do AC Milan have any world class or potential world class players? Yes or no?
I think Donnarumma is potential world class.
Yes, that I agree.
I think that's about it.
Calabria,
Okay.
Conti. Oh my.
What?
Slow down.
What did you say? Calabria.
What do you want? Calabria?
No, Hazem. Just please. Just
potentially world class, of course. This guy's 22 years old.
Ford. No, Hazem, relax. Let guys talk. Ford. Do AC Milan have any potential world class players?
I'm gonna put it like this, right? So, Hazem, you're clearly a knowledgeable guy, but you're very extremely biased towards your club. I mean, you just said a couple minutes ago that Salah, you have to be world class. You need to have a season and a half of world class form. Romagnoli's not had that. It's questionable. Donnarumma definitely hasn't. Let me finish. Let me land. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Donnarumma hasn't had a year and a half of world class form.
Yes, he has.
Neither has No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has. This season has been world class. Yeah, you're making false claims. So
going back to my point, this is why I said it's an interesting discussion, because a lot of fans generally this day and age are putting players on too high of a pedestal too quickly. Again, to call players world class after maybe 6 months of really good form, way too much. To say Dembele's a top 3 player of maybe 6 weeks of really good form, way too much. People need to just calm down. Let's not be too reactionary and look at things with a wider perspective. AC Milan have players with really good potential, but again, they have to go and show it. Again, Hazem, you've been talking about potential for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What AC Milan gone and done?
I haven't known you for 2 years. I've known you for a couple of months.
Okay,
what are you
so
talking
I'm making the point. I can tell from your mannerisms that you've been hyping up AC Milan for a very,
Oh, you
very
can
long
tell.
time.
Now you can look at my past and look at my mind.
Let me land. Bro, chill. Look, even by the way you're reacting, that's how I know you're extremely biased towards your club. And I get it. You love your club. I appreciate that. You've seen your club do amazing things in the past. They're not doing it right now. Again, you saw them go to the Europa League this season. They got knocked out by Olympiacos. Again, give AC Milan time. Maybe they will be the great club that you used to know them to be. But again, right now, they don't have any world-class players. That's a fact. We all know that. They have world-class potential in their squad. Potentially, maybe they could be world-class. Donnarumma probably will be. But other than that, no, they don't. So, again, everybody just needs to pump the brakes on this. Everybody needs to just chill.
Okay.
No world-class players at AC Milan.
You flopped on that one.
All right, Kadeem.
I definitely didn't flop on that. Trust me on that.
Do Milan have any world-class or potential world-class players?
I have. It's like years ago since I saw AC Milan match, so I can't say anything about it.
Because at least Kadeem's honest. When he doesn't watch Milan matches, he can't judge. But you guys don't watch Milan matches and you still judge.
Yeah, we do.
We've seen
you don't watch the big matches. You don't watch
I watch Milan against AC Milan. I watch how
Danny, I'm not talking about you. Danny, I'm not talking about you.
again.
Wait. Okay, Hazem, you don't have to be so passionately defensive. We know that you support AC Milan, but you don't need to attack everybody when they're just giving their opinion. Okay.
Go on.
So you just need to just chill. L, same question. Do AC Milan have any world-class or potential world-class players?
Yeah, look, obviously for me, they don't have any world-class players at the moment. Talents, I'd say yes, like Donnarumma, Paqueta, Piatek.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I can name at the top of my mind right now. Maybe Bakayoko because he's been really performing well at the moment and he's really young. But look, at the moment it's all just world class potential right now. That's it. Period.
Okay, Mohammed.
I mean, you'd have to be kidding yourself to say that they've got world class players. But obviously, as I agree with what Hazim said, they've got world class potential players, potentially all over the pitch. But it's just a matter of time, and we'll know. But yeah, that's it really. I mean, they don't.
Will they keep all those players when teams come in for them? That's a big question as well.
Yeah,
you don't know if that's going to happen.
All right. Munzaha. Same question.
Yeah, HH. Like right now, they don't have like world class players, but they have players who can be potentially world class players. And like
I agree.
Paqueta, if you see his moments like in the final third and decision making, like how when to play and how to move the ball, and like he can see literally read the game and like in a sense he's actually can be world class in next 2 seasons. This is what I personally think. And second player who's like very close, like in a sense, but he's not yet world class. I must say that for me personally, I consider him as in a tier 2, and that is Piontek, because the way he plays and like his off-ball moments is like trust me, I think so. It's a young Lewandowski what I see from him.
Yeah.
Wait. From
only
who?
been 6 months though.
Wait, Munzaha. Wait. From who?
I'll just be like, on.
Wait, Munzaha. Who are you referring to?
Piontek.
Piontek.
You're saying that he is a young Lewandowski that's tier 2.
No. I'm saying that he's at the end bottom of the tier 2. What I'm trying to say is, but he can be potentially a world class player, world class striker. I mean, might in future.
100%.
Because the way he scored for the team like a crap team like Genoa, 14 goals, especially in the one of the most defensive league in the world. You cannot deny that. Thirdly, Donnarumma is good goalkeeper, and he's very good goalkeeper right now. But a good goalkeeper, I mean, and he's also potentially can become a world class goalkeeper. But right now they don't have any world class player. Currently, they don't have any world class player.
Can I just make one point? If we're saying Peter can potentially be world class, and so can Callum Wilson, because he's done the same thing with Bournemouth this season. And
Forward.
Just wait. Let me just make my point. These guys, why do they have world class potentially? But we've got, again, that's why I made the point earlier. We're giving these guys too much credit too soon. Let them earn their stripes. 6 months was good for me. And saying, if he's world class now, or he could really be world class. No, let them earn their stripes.
You've never seen him play.
Normally, for me, on top 7 players.
Have you seen Piontek play?
Forward. Forward. Have you really watched Piontek, bro? Have you watched Piontek?
Yes,
I don't think you have.
No, you haven't.
As I said, you're assuming I haven't watched him. I just said I've watched him. I've watched enough of him.
Yeah, you're reading your mind like you were reading my mind.
You're wrong now.
Like you're reading.
Okay. Wait. Easy. Let me bring in Red. I'm gonna bring in
potential, but he's not world class now. On to say he could be world.
Of course.
Okay, wait, guys, look, chill. We'll get back to the discussion. But okay, Red, your thoughts? Do Ismail have any current world class players or potential world class players?
Potential doesn't pay bills, HH. What does potential do for you? Potential doesn't do. Potential really means nothing.
That is so funny, yo.
Unless trophies are won, unless Champions League football is played, it means nothing. To be honest with you, I'll tell you this: Paqueta, I'm a believer, man. I saw that rainbow flick. That's it. I'm sold. I want to see more of this kid. Donnarumma, he's had good seasons. He could also be potentially there. Piontek has had an incredible start to his first season in Syria, but again, this means nothing. At the end of the day, it's all about what happens at the end of the season. So let's just let Milan play. This week was really good for them. They secured 4th spot and they solidified.
Let's talk about the game.
Yeah. They came up from 7th to 4th this week. That's a huge jump. And so potential really means nothing. I don't really care either way unless they actually do something with it. It doesn't matter.
So in a sense, you don't care Vinicius Junior and
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until he wins trophies. Until Vinicius actually converts that potential to trophies and achievements and records.
Do you know that?
I think Ismail doesn't have.
Okay, let's talk about the game.
Wait. Let me just come in now.
Quite narrow approach.
Can I say something?
Easy, guys, chill. Let me come in now. Basically, look, I take in what all of you guys have said, and again, I've said this for a while that I think that when Donnarumma gets his head right, I believe that's going to be the best keeper in the world in like 4 or 5 years' time. Paqueta, he looks high at the moment. Now, how old is Paqueta?
21.
Paqueta is nowhere near Mbappe's level. He's nowhere near
How do you know?
Usman Dembele because I use what I've used the eye test.
Did you watch him in Flamengo?
No, Hazem.
No, you cannot say that.
I can judge a player by just looking at 5-6 minutes. That's how I judge players because I can judge it.
It's his first game in the league in the
Wait,
Serie
man, wait. Can I land? Just chill. Bloody hell. Based on what's basically, you can show me based on the little footage I saw of Mbappe at Monaco. I was like, oh my gosh, this kid is playing at a different level. Based on the little footage I saw of Ousmane Dembele at Dublin, I was like, oh no, this kid is at a different level. Paqueta, I'm like, no, I'm impressed by what he's doing. He is not on what Dembele and Mbappe are doing.
That's your opinion.
What I know, thank you. Man, are you going to respond to everything I say? Relax. Okay, chill. So what those guys are doing are different, but the points I am making, and the points I made when I put the tweets out is, this is AC Milan. Okay, when I grew up with AC Milan, these guys were feared. These were one of the biggest clubs in the world. And the thing is that when it was back then, it was AC Milan. You had Juventus, AC Milan were on the same level as Real Madrid, as Barcelona, and as Bayern Munich, as all of these guys. As of right now, Milan are nowhere near.
Of course.
Barcelona and all these boys are doing nowhere near, not even close. Like, the gap is vast. And when I look at that team, as people have said, there's nobody world-class in that team. World-class potential, not a single player is world-class.
HH, can I ask you a question?
What?
So do you think we're going in the right direction or not? Because you've been avoiding this.
What's the next topic? What's the
Let me say one thing, please. I beg you. Let me say one more thing. All right. I think the main problem. I think the main problem with AC Milan is, as of right now, because I understand the whole potential world-class thing, but they don't have already made talent that can, propel them to the Barcelona and Real Madrid level. But my thing is, and what I would say is, you have to know AC Milan's history. Go to Wikipedia, type in AC Milan and search the trophies they have. That tells you everything, man.
We know the trophies that they have. We're talking about now.
No, it shows you everything.
But see, and this is that why can't AC Milan attract an Mbappe or a Dembele or a Leroy Sané?
I think
that's the question.
Can I say on this? Can I say something? I want to say something important on this. Listen.
Okay, I'll go to Muntaha, and I think for Muntaha, go.
Yeah. I'll just take 30 seconds for this. Look, I know that AC Milan cannot attract now, but once they get Champions League spot this season, and look, they're marching on the right track. You cannot say that they're not just marching on the right track. Okay, they might not have world-class player right now, but if you see the talents they're recruiting from, looking back in 2006, what was Barcelona? Come on, Barcelona was nothing at that time in 2005. They invested in La Masia, they invested in young talent.
Wait. So wait, Monza, you're telling me that Barcelona in 2005 were as bad as AC Milan now? Is that what you're
No. No. But the level.
Where were Liverpool when they were in the Europa League? They took only 3 years to come back.
Yeah. So they need Champions League football. First of all, they need Champions League football to attract youngsters, superstars, or at least the best players. You don't have look, same with Liverpool. When they got the Champions League spot, all of a sudden they are getting the one of the best players from the world, around the globe. Yeah. So
no.
This is how we.
It's facts,
No. Basically, the point I'm trying to get here is that I do want AC Milan to get back to the best. I do want AC Milan to improve, but for me, I just have the benchmark really high. So I guess they are heading towards in the right direction, and I do think that they are making the right moves and everything. But every time I switch and I look at AC Milan, I just shake my head because I'm like, my God, I remember what all these guys were.
You need patience.
I think
get over it.
It's
time.
Was not able.
Okay.
Look, tomorrow we're gonna have Champions League, and that's it.
We're moving on now. Milan don't have Pirlo, Shevchenko, or anybody. They have Cotrone and Romagnoli.
Cotrone has talent to become world class.
So we're moving on. We're moving on. Milan have Romagnoli and Cotrone as their striker. Now,
they're world class.
Sergio Ramos. Is Sergio Ramos the greatest goal scoring central defender of all time?
John Terry, even though I'm not a big fan of him,
Huh?
John Terry was a better goal.
No,
What?
co-
Oh,
Oh
no,
my
come
God,
on
oh my
now,
God.
no.
Ramos scored.
Ramos has more UCL than Terry. Come on
Wait,
It's
now.
not about UCLs. We're talking about goal scoring. Yeah, go on.
Ford, okay, Ford. Now, when I say goal scoring, it is not only volume of goals, it's clutch goals and when goals were scored and the stage in which the goals were scored. Are you honestly telling me that John Terry is a better, more clutch goal scorer than Sergio Ramos?
Oh no, if it's still about clutch, and yeah, definitely Ramos with the clutch goals that he's got. But just in terms of numbers, I think Terry's got more numbers in the time that he played in the league. Certainly, he didn't do it in the Champions League as much as Ramos. So in that case, again, I'm not advocately defending Terry on this. I just think Terry's probably got better numbers. But you can make the case for Ramos as well, no doubt about it.
Oh, no, for me. I'm not making the case. I'm saying somebody disputes. I say he's the greatest goal scoring clutch central defender of all time.
Can I just say? Yeah.
So I just want to bring some moments and some stats as well for Ramos.
Thank you.
Ramos scored an overhead kick last season in the Champions League. Ramos has scored a brace in the Allianz at Bayern Munich. Ramos has scored a brace at Napoli against Napoli in the Sao Paulo. Ramos is Ramos in 16-17 probably 35% of the reason why we won the league that season. He was scoring braces against Malaga. He was scoring clutch goals against Barca in the last minute to get the point at the Camp Nou. He in the modern era, because I don't want to say all time, because of course there's Beckenbauer, like
Ronald Koeman.
Koeman, yeah.
Oh no,
Ronald Koeman.
That was my favorite defender.
No, wait, guys, be very clear. That's what I said, central defender, because because a guy on Twitter, like friend of mine, said Ronald Koeman is, I think, the highest scoring defender.
It's true.
Koeman did also play the midfield as well, so I understand that. But at the same time, you still have to consider them in the conversation. With that being said, I think in the modern era, and by modern era, because also another defender that was clutch for Madrid was Hierro, which we also won 3 Champions League with. Fernando Hierro, and he was a top goal. He was pretty much the original Ramos. So these are players that you have to also mention. But with that being said, like Ramos in the modern era, and by the modern era I mean like 2005 till now, I think he's the best goal scoring defender. No doubt.
You know what? On that point, let's close on this. Let's close on this now, and I will give you guys time to think as I go down the room. Which was the more clutch goal? Ramos's 2014 last minute injury time equalizer, or Drogba's 2012 clutch equalizer? Which was the more clutch moment? Relax. Which was the more clutch moment? Now think about the team they played for, the venue, how the game went, because it's very difficult when you think about it. So
it has to be Chelsea. I'm sorry.
Because I will tell you what I think is the objective answer. It's close, but I'll tell you what I think is the objective answer. So I'll start with Barca. Which was the more clutch goal?
Who? Sorry, what do you say?
Oh Lord. Which was the more clutch goal? Sergio Ramos's equalizer against Atletico Madrid, or Drogba's equalizer against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final?
For me, I'm gonna go with Sergio Ramos's. Although I'm a Barca fan, real talk, I just think that yes, Drogba's one was good, but I just think the English media hyped it way too much. And Ramos, Ramos header was amazing, because if you remember, when Ramos scored that header, that was when Real Madrid started scoring 2, 3, 4, and like
wait, Basta, easy. Wait, because you said something there. Are you telling me that Ramos's header was technically better than Drogba's header?
Yeah, because the English media overhyped it too much.
Okay. So Pastor, thank you. Okay, you should. Daniel, which was the more clutch goal?
Ramos's.
Oh my word!
Against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
So okay. It was against Atletico Madrid, and
like the goal in 2004.
Yes,
I mean 2014, 2014. My bad, sorry, 2014.
Okay, all right, okay. Forward.
Obviously I'm a big fan of Drogba. I mean, I love the guy. But I'm going to be objective here, as we obviously this is what it's meant to be. I'm going to go for Ramos. Now, although Drogba's goal was definitely a better header, and he's the most, probably for me, I know I'm going to explain, but even though obviously Drogba's for me is the most clutch striker of all time, I think in terms of what the goal actually stood for and meant, even though Drogba scored that header and obviously won and won the penalty shootout, and that was probably the worst Chelsea team of the last 20 years, I would say, that specific team. And we won it. And it was probably a bigger moment, that individual trophy, compared to Ramos's individual trophy that they won in 2014. Look at the dominance that Real Madrid went on to have after that. And I feel like maybe that wouldn't have happened if Ramos didn't score ahead, and obviously Atletico won the Champions League that season. Because if they would have won a double, obviously along with the league, that would have been a big dent in the confidence of Real Madrid. And even, I mean, you don't know, maybe they wouldn't have been able to then win the Champions League the next time they came around when they played Atletico back in the final with a penalty shootout. Maybe 2014 was still in their minds when that happened. So again, just on the basis of the fact that they won so many Champions Leagues after that, they won the three-peat. I feel like you kind of have to give it to Ramos just ahead of Drogba's one.
Hazem?
Yeah, it has to be Ramos. I mean, the fact that it was in the final and in the last minute, and he literally basically won them the Champions League. So I would say that's more crucial because of the situation it was in and how it saved them from Atletico winning the Champions League, literally.
Yeah.
All right, Kadim. All right, everything's okay. L.
Okay, listen, we all need to be objective here. First of all, right, Chelsea have never, ever, ever won a
I won't be
UCL,
objective.
right? Let's get that, shut up. Let's get that in all our heads, right? Drogba's goal came in the last minute. It was clutch. And right, I think what we need to remember is that obviously Drogba was maybe one of their best players, that final, maybe. But for me, look, it has to go to Drogba. I mean, I don't get this whole Ramos thing because for me, Chelsea were never expected to win the Champions League final, ever. All respect to Real Madrid. I mean, they went and won 3 UCLs. They are top-class, world-class team. They're the best club in the world. Please, fam, put some respect on Chelsea's name and Drogba's name. Please.
I won't.
God.
I won't.
Okay, no, Basa. Mohammed, which was more clutch?
It's tough, man. Well, you'd have to go with the Ramos one because, at least everyone stood up,
H, please help me, man.
Wait, Mohammed, talk.
They were pretty much facing defeat, so with, how long was left? 10 seconds or something? I think there was 10 seconds left or something like that. So, I mean, you'd have to go with the Ramos one. Yeah,
all right.
You'd have to go with the Ramos.
Muntaha. I wonder what you're gonna pick.
HH, please don't go through my AVI. Yeah, please. I know Madrid fans going to bang me in my comments. Yeah, Madrid fans are going to bang me in my comments.
Just pick one.
Yeah.
Please
look.
be objective, please.
It's really tough.
Wait. Go.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah. Okay. You stopped me, so you cut me off. So I thought you're saying something. Look, it's really difficult, but to be honest, I'm freaking objective this time. I always am, but on this question, I think so. It was Drogba's goal. You know why?
Okay. Let's.
Are you serious, dude?
Wait,
oh my
guys,
listen.
I bet you kick out hardcore, man. This is getting too much.
Listen. Let me tell you why. Look, we were continuously attacking. What do you call Atletico Madrid? If you see on the other hand, Chelsea was defensive. They were struggling. There was no hope of getting goals. When Muller scored, it was finished. Game is done for Chelsea. Even in the Allianz Arena, people started celebrating. There was no hope to come back. Do you understand?
We're Atletico fans. The same thing with Atletico fans. We're celebrating.
Wait. Let the guy talk.
Listen.
It's
But
true,
Chelsea was getting battered and battered on that pitch. And when when Juan Mata took the corner, I thought okay, man, it's going to be as usual. The way he put the ball back into the net, and there was you have to also see that the goalkeeper was Manuel Neuer. And it's merely impossible to score at that time. So to be on the personal note, trust me, I think so. Drogba goal was bit clutch than Ramos. This is what I think.
Interesting.
Way more clutch, to be honest.
Red.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk first technique. They were both identical headers. They both used the same technique in their headers.
They weren't identical headers.
No, they were.
Yes, it was.
Darbo's at the near post.
Wait,
No, it's a bus.
No. So they both were technique wise. Both were. Now, Drogba's was hands down clutch. Same was Ramos. Like clutch wise, they're both on equal level. But what edges it for me is the fact that it was a derby. It was a Madrid derby. Losing to Bayern, there's no shame in losing to Bayern. Bayern are a top club. They're an elite club. If Chelsea lost to Bayern, it wouldn't have been, the backlash wouldn't have been as bad. If Madrid would have lost to Atletico, they're direct city rivals in a Champions League final, that would be a saying on their history for much longer. That would be forever remembered, because we have to play Atletico every season. So for that reason alone, I would choose Ramos's header. But other than that, I don't want to take anything away from Drogba.
So one thing you get, just let me tell you one thing, yeah, because Chelsea was playing on the Bayern's home, yeah, there was no chance for Chelsea to come back. There was no freaking chance.
Thank you.
No, wait. Okay, let me. Okay, now, both, as you said, are both clutch. Huge goals, hugely important goals. And again, I remember when Ramos scored that goal, I was like, that was from nowhere. Because, again, it seems as if Atletico won. But when I asked the question, I said, take everything into account.
Yep.
Take everything into account. Chelsea had no business getting to that final to begin with. Because what they did against Barcelona was black magic and white magic. It was juju that they used. That Chelsea team.
We had so much possession that game.
Wait, let me
hardcore, man.
No, chill. And also, in that final, for the entire game, Bayern outplayed Chelsea in that entire game. For that entire game. And the fact that, I think Montan mentioned it, Bayern were playing on their home ground at the Allianz Arena. Players were pretty much either at their peak or nearing their peak in 2012. Schweinsteiger, Neuer, all these guys were pretty much at their peak or nearing their peak. And Bayern completely dominated the game. So the fact that I believe that Drogba is more clutch is based on the much more difficult situation he was in. It was Chelsea were far more inferior than Bayern. Before that Atletico Real Madrid game, Real were the favorites for that game.
Yeah.
Real were the favorites for that game. So Real were expected to win. So the fact that they were losing, it was a shock based on the kind of talent they had on the pitch. Cristiano, Bale, Di Maria, all these kind of guys. Chelsea, remember, this was an older Drogba. This was a Drogba past his peak, up against a Bayern side that's the next season they won the flipping treble next season. That's how good they were. So, and when you look at Drogba's header, as I say, against Neuer, and the difficulty of the header and the angle where he was from, because it wasn't the same as Ramos, it was the same technique, but the angle Drogba was from and how he had to get it in was insane. Yeah, how he had to get it in. So, in my view, based on the difficulty of the situation, the degree of difficulty that the situation was created, Bayern home ground, how much better Bayern were, how much Bayern dominated, how much Bayern outplayed Chelsea. Chelsea hardly had any attacks and hardly did not do anything in Stingy. I'm giving it to Drogba. But guys, it was a good convo. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.